a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia and Sheree Talaya, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas and have wonderful guests. So, we live in a world where truth tellers often face pressure, censorship, and pushback, but fear narratives can trap us just as tightly as any system. So tonight we're going to be talking about a lot of different things, including Social Security, discernment, protection, and how to walk in truth without being consumed by fear-based stories. And getting to the truth in the bottom of the story of stories isn't always that easy. So, and Jenny is going to fill us in on the latest on Social Security. So let me bring her on.
Hey.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. I'm having my issues, but I'm keep going. I'm still standing.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So, how do you like the winters in Arkansas?
I don't. Truthfully, I don't. From last year and now this year, it's not like they're, horribly, horribly cold, although it's colder than usual right now, but not compared to where you're at. But it's a lot of wet, cold rain, even more than sometimes I'd rather have snow than cold rain. It's like just before it's ready to freeze. And if it does freeze, look out. Nobody goes anywhere.
Right.
It's very wet around here. It rains a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of fish. I had a friend that owned a fish corporation, a big one. He dealt with all the bait corporations, and he made a ton of money, and he paid me to go down to a trip down to Arkansas, and I was just like, what do they do down here? He goes, nothing. They go to the movies. I'm like, the fish farms everywhere, but I'm like, yeah, there was not much to do there, that I saw. So,
I would have to say that's true.
yeah, and I was living in San Diego, so I was just like,
Yeah, if you're used to a big city, this is not the place you would want to come to. It has the most narrow streets I've ever seen. Well, actually, there's some like that in New York too. Very narrow streets, very not well maintained. They didn't spend a lot on their transportation. The road I'm out on happens to be in good shape, though, because that's been recently redone. But there's a lot of little ones that, are not good. It's a lot different. You got to go a lot farther to find things you might need or whatever. It's not like
right.
The different stores and all that. But anyway, but there's a lot of beauty, a lot of
nature
and nature, and that's always important to me. So that part I really like.
Right. That's good. So, I mean,
sometimes I miss Arizona.
You guys what?
Sometimes I miss Arizona in all truthfulness. Yeah. Especially Sedona. Sedona was pretty special.
Yeah, there's some things that needs to be changed about Arizona. But there's a lot of states that need to be changed, especially Minnesota right now.
Oh my God. Yeah, I know. Holy smokes. Not only is the governor a fruitcake, I'm sorry.
He's worse than that.
Yeah, that's a compliment, isn't it?
He is the Somalians prostitute right now.
Yeah.
And I'm talking, there's the negative side of ones that used it and abused it. I'm not talking about, there are some really good ones that I've met. So it's not the same. So, and of course they throw it all together, but, the thing is what they've done to the state, and turn it into a money laundering scheme, and then threatened, over 400, I think it was 400 employees if they said anything, and they brought up all the fraud. And if you brought it up, and they intimidated them, I mean, Tim's going to be hanging from a damn tampon soon, you know. Telling you,
I
they
still
should hang
can't.
his ass from a tampon.
Wow. Wow. It's something else. Tampon Tim, yeah.
Yeah, so he's corrupt from go. I mean, he wasn't in the military or anything like that either. I mean, he's just another scammer.
Look at what somebody said. He's a Somali concubine.
Oh, he's bad.
That's funny.
There's a reason why he doesn't come out into the country areas of Minnesota, because they don't like him at all.
Gee, I wonder why.
Gee, no.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've been listening to a few things about Minnesota. I'm going, no wonder Jenny left.
Yes, I was like, I'm done. I was done, and I'll tell you the day. No, it was a month later when they figured out I was out of the state. They pulled a bunch of money from my account. If that tells you anything about them.
You know, I found out not too long after I left Sedona, there was a bunch of mass arrests that went on there.
I mean, it's just, there's so many there. It's just corrupt.
But there was a lot of arrests that went, related to illegal immigration people and so on. Because, all those businesses, they always want the cheapest labor they can find.
Well, it's not even that. They just don't.
That's part of it anyway.
Minnesota teach them to not work, not do anything, and work off the system. That's all it is. So, I don't know. I mean, it's a bad deal.
It's that's true here. Look at somebody said this, and I remember this too, because I didn't live that. I was in northern Wisconsin for quite a while, and they said I visited Minnesota in '66 and '71, and it was so wholesome and peaceful. And the land, I mean, I remember it as the land of 10,000 lakes, and it was a vacation paradise, really. I don't know about the other aspects of it, but I had, relatives in the Twin Cities. And anyway, it's not as nice as it used to be.
No, it's not. It's not Minnesota nice. It's not at all. So, yeah, I think with the government cutting them off on everything, and I'm sure that they probably think the state level that they're gonna be able to steal from there again, and I think they're gonna get completely cut off. So I think right now, I mean, people should not be paying even their state tax, because you know where it's going now. So I mean, it's as dirty as California, and it's a cesspool of it. So they need to gut it and start over.
So there's a pretty high immigrant population then in the Twin Cities. Is that true?
There's a what?
A high illegal immigration group in the Twin Cities.
Yes,
not just Somalis, but other ones as well.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, lovely! I didn't know this. Somebody in the audience, the Lutheran services brought in the Somalis. They got over $2,000 per person.
Yeah, well,
that.
Well,
See, we're trying to see the corruption in the churches.
yeah, those corporate churches, but I think the smaller community ones they're trying to just take care of their community, but the bigger ones, I think to me they're completely divided because one serves the community, they try to, and then the other one serves the dirty pockets of the corporation churches. So, and they'll take from their people. And they don't care how bad they're doing or what process they're in life. They'll take their money.
Somebody's asking, I don't know where this question came, but maybe you do. It says, hi, Gail and Jenny. Oh my gosh, did they take money from your bank account, Jenny?
Yes, they did.
For what?
Oh, because when I left the state, and instead of me deciding I was going to pick my ass paying my taxes and a budget, they just took it all out.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they did it.
Do you have any recourse?
No, I mean, I owed it to them. There's nothing I could do. They just, what are you going to do? They're corrupt.
Yeah, and then try getting anything back anyway.
Forget it now. No.
Wow. That's a shame. Well, yeah, somebody said Minnesota needs to get loud. I don't know. People are afraid to. There's a lot of fear out there still. And that kind of freezes people.
Yeah, well, I think they're going to have some major repercussions on that now that the ICE is in the neighborhood, going down the streets, and they're loading stuff up. So, and people up. So we'll see. You know, this is the thing. The inner city of Minnesota is very weak. The people, they're not fighters. They can't fight. It's all on the outside. The farmers, the ones that are really doing the work in the state are. But the ones inside the city, except the ones that I know that are there that want everything out. But they're codependent on the system.
That's how they want everybody.
Well, let me tell you something else. The inner cities, Minneapolis, I'm going to call it out, and I'm going to call it out now. Minneapolis, St. Paul, there is a witch colony, and I mean bad witches in those areas, and they do all kinds of stuff. And I could tell you, I went to an event, and Spirit goes, just go. I'm like, okay, just throw me on a stake here. But you know, the reason why I go to those and I take the risk of doing it, even though you expect that you're going to help some people that should not be there, and sometimes you have to be thrown to the wolves and know that you have strength in God when that stuff happens. So yeah, I've been in a situation like that, and they don't like that. They hate it. So yeah, Minneapolis is a brew for it.
Wow. Not good. Somebody's got a question here for you, Jenny. When do you see that the people are really starting to get a better life all over the world? Oh my gosh, let me be in 2026, please.
Okay. So we're at a point at the edge of the cliff. So for us to survive, new ideas, new programs have to be implemented. You have to understand, if you want to look at this in a way that people want to know dates and times, and my boyfriend wants to see it too. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, and it's not there yet, because there are programs, and there's they have to see them in black and white. So they're pulling programs away, installing new programs, better programs. And that's the whole thing about dismantling a corporation and then implementing new programs within a new corporation. That's what's happening. So you have to understand business, how it's going to work. and it's got to benefit
Oh, wait,
corporation.
back up there. Are you telling me that we are going to continue with corporations?
No. I want you to just use an example of.
Oh, okay, good.
No.
It had me
Not
worried.
that it's going to be a corporation. But what I'm saying, when you're in a process of dismantling a company,
Mhm.
you pull all the bad programs. That's what we did at the government. We're pulling all the bad programs. He pulled out all of Joe's pen writing programs. All that's gone, right? And so now he's implementing new programs into the government, right? He's implementing the new ones and getting them rolling, started. So they've had this stuff for years that they know what they're going to do, and now they have to implement it. And that's why the whole thing with the healthcare, education, and then
They have to drop everything because look at what they're doing in education and they're still doing it. And look what they're doing in healthcare and they're still doing it. That's what's disturbing.
right. Yeah. So but they're all going to jail. You're going to jail. And so, but I'm seeing attorneys and judges that are going to jail too. So, and because the mainstream media is not showing that, they're not going to show that. They don't understand. They
be taken over.
Yeah. Well, they're going to get to a point with this veil of these courts are not going to be legal anymore at all. Okay.
That's
and I'm
good.
telling you, you're going to go to the front door of the courthouse and you can't get in. The judge can't get in. Sorry. Your services are no longer needed here. You need to get on that white bus.
Yeah, you're done. Get on the white bus.
Get on the white bus.
Your turn.
So,
Your turn to get a little fun in the cages.
Exactly. So the whole thing about it, everybody's frustrated. Everybody is mad. Why is this not being done? Everything's being done at 2 a.m. in the morning when you're sleeping. Everything's being implemented at 2 a.m. in the morning. And so that's the thing that's happening. And you guys can feel the change. You see what's going on. You feel it. But like, again, everybody wants it done overnight. I'm going to tell you one of the biggest things that it's the elders. Impact and Social Security, that and the veterans are the two that are going to start off first that you're going to see. And this is where I told people, when this happens, and it does happen, you got to be patient with things because someone has to go first. And then everybody's going, well, I'm not, and everybody has their issues and problems. But the point is it's starting. So have patience, be humble about the ones that are getting started. There's a reason. I mean, these elders have been sitting on this planet a lot longer than you, and they deserve to be paid first. So there's a lot to do. In between all of this, the persona that they're trying to keep people thinking. But, you want to know the facts, you got to look at the debt clock. That's our money system. It shows you right there what's going on. But people don't want to go in there and read that. They don't want to listen. They don't want to listen to what's going on with that debt clock. That's everything worldwide. Where the money's going. And it's showing you what's happening. And, people are just like, I don't see it. It's right there.
We'll probably look at it. Doesn't make sense to them. Like, those numbers are so big. You can hardly say them.
Well, you just got to do some research and educate yourself on understanding. And there are 3 or 4 people that do videos on the debt clock and breaks it down. And that's why when I see something specific that the public needs to know, I'll put it out there. But the thing is, that's the first thing you should be doing, getting up in the morning, grabbing your coffee and seeing that the debt clock changed. Because I said this before, that's what the old system. And you can tell that the debt clock's pretty old the way they got it. So I imagine Elon Musk will be updating a brand new type of a golden age abundance system when they actually put it out. because that's something that looks like it's from 1987, honestly, the way they have it set up and everything. And needs a more modern process as we get into these humanity projects, seeing what's going on. Where's the money going into these projects? Where is it going into the highways? Where is it going into the roads? Where is it going, like, worldwide? Here's the confusion when you have everything statewide, and then everybody gets into just their state area and they look at those and they break it down. But they need to be looking at it, United States, worldwide, how much funding is going to transportation. I mean, we need an overhaul on air travel. It's the Walmart of everything. It's the worst thing to ever have, to get on the plane. You're like, well, you could make it, but there's a chance you may not. But, because they're not paid very well and they don't do their job very well. And that's the hardest thing. Very
well. Wait a minute.
So I did watch a video and listen to some information on Social Security Day. So, and I believe that's going to, the elders are going to be first. This is the thing, I've told you about this and I've said this. When that happens, when that money hits the banks, these elders are not going to believe it. They're going to say, there's something wrong. You overpaid me, because that's the mentality. They don't believe they deserve it, or they'll be penalized for it, or this is a mistake. So it's going to be, they're going to really have to put that out there publicly, that this isn't a mistake. This is your money. You deserve this money. I believe the $2,000 that Trump is telling you is not, and because I heard it today, it is not one check. I think this is going to be a consistent check, like part of the shares of the tariff. So I believe there's going to be more with it.
Or is this a stimulus check for everybody?
The Americans. Dark doesn't get it. Dark don't get the money. Period.
They're starting with the elderly.
Yes, the elderly are going to be the first, and the vets. And we got to take care of the homeless. And there's all these programs. That's why I said, you got to look at how many programs we need to implement and what needs to be done. And this is the thing. Everybody thinks that this is happening at a pace that no one knows what's going on. And it's going to take longer because they haven't started it. Well, maybe the floodgates are just waiting right there to implement these programs. They haven't been given the green light at all. They're going to clear out buildings and programs very quickly. Some of the stuff can happen over 24 hours, shut it down, and then you're opening up in a new process. I mean, you're seeing more and more about the military controlled med beds. Military, not civilian. And when the priority, again, is the most sick and severe.
Okay. There's a question up there, and I understand the frustration. It says this frustration that nothing is being shown in the open and the mainstream is still lying. After 6 freaking years, we need some proof in the open that good times are coming. Not just,
and I get that. That has to do with the guidelines. The guidelines. They have not presented the guidelines for the public to go by. So until everything's implemented, then they got to present to the public the guidelines. These are the new ways that we're doing things. This is how we're going to heal. This is how you're going to be medically cured. This is how we're going to subsidize your income. This is how we're going to subsidize how you make sure you have clean food. All this stuff. That's the whole thing. So everybody's like, why isn't? Where's the guidelines for everything? Where's the new laws that people can go by to? And if you give them that, if you give them guidelines, they know what to go by. But right now, there isn't no structure for that yet. It's not been presented. The media is not going to give you anything.
The media needs to be shut down and taken over.
Across the board. So, and that's what I said from day one. The guidelines, people will be fine if they could follow some rules, if they understand what they got to do, and if they're in a fair process of things. But if you don't give them anything, they're going to assume all this other information and make it up in their head. That's what's happening because no one has presented anything.
And they're not getting the truth. They're not getting the whole story. Even if they're not told everything, it's not like they want military secrets or anything like that. But there's no reason why there can't be some more truth out there about what's really happening. Okay. Here, this woman said this. Let me say that because I think exactly the same thing. They talk about, oh, you're going to get the cola raise. Oh, wow. Oh, she got $57 raise for the year for inflation. Woo! Wow. Yeah. Don't spend it all in one place. Get a half a bag of groceries. You know, I'm sorry, but when I think about all that they gave to people that never worked a day in their life and to come and let into this country, given housing, given everything, and then Americans are supposed to be happy with $57 or what was it, North Carolina, $700, or was that Maui? Anyway, ridiculous compensation for the real Americans, while the people
there you go with this. Okay, this is the problem with the state. So the government has the golden age money, the funding, is they have to set new standards for the state of what programs and how much they need to pay them. And if the state don't abide by it and do it the right way, they're not going to get their money. That's the whole process. See, here's where taxes are so messed up on, is they don't look at really doing anything for us. They do, it's to pay Peter and Paul, to rub each other's hands. So that's the whole thing. That's the money hasn't been seen in the States. You know why? Because it's all corruption. And now we got to call it on the state level of how bad, where's all that money? Each state's going to have to ask for audits.
It's only bad at the very top, and it goes all the way down.
It goes all the way to the judges. It goes all the way to the attorneys. It goes all the way to the police.
Yep.
That's the whole thing. That's where, Jesus flooded again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Flooded again.
Start over. But, because I'm telling you, I mean, that's the whole thing. But there's stuff going on because you guys are seeing it. And you're not seeing it from the media. You're seeing it off these private people that are putting the information out, and everything with the military is secured. You got all these people. I got intel of this person. I got intel of this person. I got intel of this person. Why in the fuck are you saying that in the first place? This is what blows my mind on the military. Military doesn't expose anything unless they want it out there. They are not going to YouTubers to tell you this information. So that's the whole difference. The military does not take that type of risk. They have several plans before when something is going to be implemented. So their people do not get hurt. So it's very secured on what they're doing. And that's why everybody's frustrated. Why don't we know anything? Because you're not supposed to. Because it's supposed to be that secure. It's supposed to be a quiet war, a quiet takedown. That's what's happened. And it frustrates people because they don't know anything, because they want to gossip. But I'm telling you, it's happening. You feel it. I feel it. You see it. I see it. The banks are affected by it. They're not happy. You think the bank systems are happy now? They are pissed. They're not going to be making money off us anymore the way they used to. Everything's going to change. Surprised they haven't started with the insurance yet. You know, the housing is going to the shits after all these immigrants are gone. They thought they had that money guaranteed for a long time. They're not going to have the bodies to put in the buildings. I'm just saying, Minnesota's just the beginning.
Did you say something? I heard that you had said, I don't know if it was on another show, something about you think the housing market in around the middle of December is going to plummet? Yeah.
It's going to start tanking because you have to understand when the government's not paying for the immigrants and it's not paying all the con money that they put up and lied. And those people and these big corporations depend on that government money to pay their rent or pay their mortgage. That's not there no more. It's cut. Not warning about it. They're just cutting it. Okay? What is that going to do to housing?
Now, are you referring to the houses that went to the immigrants?
Okay, even on SNAP, the investigations they did on SNAP they're outrageous too. On medical, they're doing for the medical field of all the investigation for that, all the fraud out of that. Okay, I want you to understand, government's gonna stop and go, what are we doing here? We got to investigate every division. Wait till they get through the audit of the IRS. Wait till you see that one.
Well, I can't wait to see that.
Kicking up pants over the freaking IRS.
I have to throw this in there, Jenny. I'm working on a incarceration industrial complex, like the military industrial complex.
Yeah.
We have a incarceration complex that's just exactly the same, with big contractors, big money, big profit being made, and nobody knows about it because it's an easy place to hide, because it's just a bunch of inmates anyway, just a bunch of criminals anyway. So nobody's going to investigate it. Baloney. It's going to get exposed too, and you're going to see the corruption in there that's off the charts.
It is off the charts. I mean, there's just so much corruption. I don't know. And sometimes I think God's goes, this is not what I meant to do. This is not what I wanted my people doing. I don't know where they got off on thinking that this was the way it was supposed to be. No, we got a clean house. It's just, we have no choice. We have to do the hard work. There's no sitting down and not doing anything anymore. Everything has to be gutted and cleaned out.
Just totally.
Everything.
Every single thing.
This is what I told people. I go, tell me 2 corporations in the world, in the United States, that are clean. I know what they are.
0.
Trump's administration, because they've gutted that so many times and poked the bear on that, and we know that that's clean. And Elon Musk, his corporation. There you go. You got 2 of them. The rest, forget it. The rest are done. They can't touch them. They built on their own money. They weren't bought and paid for.
Oh, wow. Look at that. This is so typical.
All right.
I'll tell you the front end. Look at this. That $57 raise in Social Security is great, but it's taken back by Medicare, which increased to $200 a month. So you didn't get anything. You actually got less. Oh, it's not funny.
Well, it's better just to say, I don't even want it, because it ain't going to impact them on things. So that's the thing. This whole thing with the UK and how they're going to do this ID for groceries and everything else. You can't get a password. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Let's go back to history on this stuff. So people go, okay, we're going to barter and trade on everything, and we're going to go back into the hills, back into the mountains, and start our own government again. All they're going to do is pick up the people and they're going to leave. They're going to go to a different area in England. and they're going to start their own colony, and they're going to build their own walls and start all over again, period. And then when they got enough barter and trading, they'll come back and they will burn your city of your computer systems, of your surveillance. All that stuff can burn down. That's the whole thing about it. So no matter what, the power's in the people. They can't take away the soul and the spirit is to collectively figure things out. So all you would have to do, the people in England, just start getting your shit, go back in the mountains, start all over again if they start that stuff, and start rebuilding your own damn kingdom all over again with your citizens. They won't have anybody. But the damn food is poison anyway. So that's what's going to happen. It's going to push people into the land again. It's going to push people into the hills. It's going to push people into the mountains again. So
I got this comment here. Recently, Alabama was given millions to help the poor, but the money was used to build bigger prisons. No oversight.
Oh, I'm sure it didn't get there.
That was a for-profit situation. If they weren't making buku bucks on prisons, they wouldn't be worried about building more prisons. And we incarcerate more people than all the industrialized countries in the world.
Yes.
If you don't think that's about
money-making machine,
you better wake up. It's all about money. And it's remember the story. First they came for this guy, then they came for that guy, and I said nothing. Then they got. That's what's happening in the United States, because as the politicians, this is what it is. You know how with the vax, safe and effective. I think everybody knows now there was nothing that was safe and effective. It was not safe and effective, okay? Well, with the prison and jail and police system, it's tough on crime. It's bullshit. It's for the pockets of the politicians. That's what it's all about.
Right.
And the corporations.
Yep. And they have to break them down.
And people don't know it, and people believe the propaganda, they're just criminals. They're just, why should we do it?
Well, that's the thing. Like I said, if they think a massive system is going to take over the people, you're feeding them crappy food. It's not even food. They can go back to the mountains, back and start homesteads all over again and create a barrier again. You want to go to war again? Do this all over again. They'll do it again. I'm just telling you, that's what they don't want. They want people connected to the system, codependent on the system. But
then they can cut you off anytime
to survive. And they need to England needs to get their asses in gear and dump the city and just go, okay, we're going to retrieve and go back for a while, and we're going to take our best men and women, and you can sit here with your computers. That's all they're going to have. Because food is not food there. So that's what I say they need to do. Go back to the mountains.
We got a mess here, that's for sure.
We do.
Let me see here. See if we got any other questions. So did you hear anything about, they're talking about this, I guess this $2,000. When are they planning on implementing that?
I think it's the first part of January, it's not in this month because they're implementing a lot of programs, but I think it's the first part of the first year. And then I honestly telling you, it's quarterly. That's not just one time. It's quarterly. They're going to get that out.
Yeah, I haven't read. I've seen them talk about it, but I'm getting to the point too where I need to see it.
Okay, but $2,000 that one time. I mean, they know that it's not going to affect you in a way that's going to just put a damper into the situation. So would you rather have a lot more money? They're giving you a lot more, and they figure out to give you a lot more.
At first, remember that? When
Yeah.
said 5,000, then all of a
Because
sudden
those are just
that never happened.
those are just figures. And then now that they're actually doing the research and figuring out what they're going to get, then they can actually implement it to the people and they can know what they can depend on. That's why. It's just hearsay until they know an actual amount. And Trump likes to surprise people. And that's his thing. And I just think, like I said, the Jubilee, money, or the IRS. And he's already hinted about the IRS. Jubilee is the debt, and then the money, all of it. If you can do it all together at once, great, do it. But another thing is too, he's trying to clear out the country and get the ones back in their country because they have to go back to their homeland to get their money.
That could provide a lot of incentive to go home.
Go on, you get your money.
Yeah.
You're not going to get paid in a foreign country that you were not born in. You have to go back to your original.
Or they'll become our new street people.
So, right.
I hate to say that. Let me see. Okay, here's somebody said that they heard Trump say during an interview that the $2,000 tariff stimulus will go to U.S. citizens who make under $100,000 per year, likely coming in March 2026.
I don't believe that. Because that's in the verification that I heard was that's it's sooner than that.
Yeah, that's kind of dragging it. This is what I hate. It seems like what they do is they'll drag it out and then they'll say it's going to happen here. And then that time will come up and then it gets extended.
Yeah. Go with the date.
Fucking can down the road is what it boils down to. Excuse my
dates.
Saying it.
This is what I could tell you. So if everything gets shut down, here this kills everything. This is because I heard this in my head through spirit. They go, don't you think if everything gets shut down for 3 days or whatever it is, don't you think all of it's gone anyway? After the 3 days, everything would be gone. Totally. That is not part of the new process. It would all be gone. So as the quote come back and said, what do you have to worry about? If everything's gone and you have all these new programs, they're going to be implementing it all together. And Trump told you, you're going to get so sick of winning. And he wasn't kidding about that.
Well, and then we have this whole aspect that kind of, I don't know how this overlaps, but it does. If we're going into 5D, the planet's raising the vibration, we're raising we don't need the med beds and we don't need the financial system. Mm-hmm. But we do need something in between until we actually totally transition. Because
guidelines of knowing what's coming and what are the true guidelines. That's what we need. Yeah. Until then, you got YouTube people. I have this friend in the military, and this is what he said. And then this person says this is from the military. Yeah, okay, whatever.
And they contradict each other.
Yes, they do. Because, admirals, lieutenants, and the way it works, you don't put your men in harm's way, and you don't open your mouth, and you don't, we know this. And so, so that's the thing. And that's why I think everything is secured. And they're very careful on who needs to know and how they want information leaked to the public. They know how to do it. I'm just telling you. And they have took over some of these YouTubers that are not the same as they were before. And using their platform maybe to pass information. But you need to pay attention to military the way their format is, how they give information. They're not sitting there giving it to you and wanting you to ask questions. They're just saying, this is what you get. We're done. That's what you get. You don't get to debate it. You just get it. So that's the whole thing with this. So it's not going to change. And the big process of not changing until the lights go down. And then when everything flips back on, guess what? It's a whole new world. What do you know? And all I'm going to do is, this is the thing where you got those 3 days that people that put their kids on iPads and iPhones. That was the parent for years. They're going to have the worst 3 days of their life. Because they didn't play board games with them. They didn't play cards with them. They didn't show them how to go outside and play. And then they're going to be like, yeah, you created that. You made that TV.
Lockdown's going to be crazy.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my God.
Exactly. I'm just going to read books. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to read some books. So anyway, yeah. So that's what's happening.
Okay, someone's asking, what do you think about companies that have government contracts and all the money they overcharge the government?
Oh, you don't want to let me go on this one, Linda. Let me tell you about this. I used to be a subcontractor, and I know even so for the school projects, for the bids for just prevailing wage, to make sure they get prevailing wage, and they do these contracts in each state and everything, and they overprice. They never pick the low balance budget, because this is how Congress works and all that, so they give them these high budgets so they can have enough fudge so all these contractors can gouge the shit out of them. And I've seen jobs that they have done that should have at least took them maybe 6 months, and then they're dragging it out a year and a half, and they're out, their ass is out front doing damn nothing. It is another scam. Don't get me started on that one.
I heard tell on some of that stuff when I worked in government many years ago. Make sure you spend all your budget and then some.
Yes.
That next year, otherwise you won't get the money that you need.
Right. That's what it is. Rich, greedy contractors. Let me tell you, these contractors, your good money days are over, because manufacturers are coming in, having it built right there, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, they set it up, it's over and done with. They're already starting with the residential side of things. The commercial end is the biggest scam out there on every damn building. This is why they're so rich, because they milk the system. And when they go over on budgets, they're like, can we have some more money? That's what they do. They put a change in. They want to change. So you can give them a contract, but all these names and top names that get these big contractors, this is what Elon Musk needs to do. We're all rebidding all the government contracts. You're going to start over again and rebid the son of a bitch. And then we'll see if you get the contract. Because there are some big scammers out there on these commercial contracts. You just look what they do, the contracts they do for General Dynamics, just to build the ships and everything. Another big scam that they do there too. Everything's a scam. So all I would say is, fuck them. Rebid it, bitches.
Times they are a-changing.
Aren't they? Yeah, it's the biggest scam.
Finally for us.
So I had to say anything with that. And don't even get me in, So they need to cut all the contracts with the government, freeze it, a 30-day, 40-day freeze. Say, we ain't going to do anything anymore. We're going to come up with new budgets. You have to abide by those budgets. Those guys will be crying like 2-year-olds, like someone took their pacifier out of their mouth. We're not going to get any more money for doing nothing. I'm telling you.
Yeah, really. Let's see. New York is saying every corporation is doing shrinkflation now and charging you more. Greedy bastards. Yeah, they are greedy. Anyway.
Yeah.
It was so sad that money wasn't given to the poor. All they did was build prisons. And guess who the recipients of most jail cells are? It's the poor for petty bullshit that they get stopped for from any number of things. Not to mention being driven to the point of having to do something illegal to survive. So, and I'm not justifying it, but that's what happens. It's set up that way.
So
And
this
then
is the thing that I want to ask.
Go ahead.
Why hasn't our country stood up like these other countries did? Why haven't we stood in the streets and took down, Paris took down their own damn government. They're like, we ain't doing this shit no more. You know, these other countries that are, they're done. They're done. They're like, you're done. And we need to do it. So drive down the street with our tanks that a lot of people have and the devices that they have. And they need to show that in force, because they need to show the force that we have in the States, and people need to see it in droves. And as I would say, you know, the flock needs to be seen.
It is very frustrating because we see it happening overseas. We see it happening in Europe. We see it happening in other countries. And I'm going, America,
where's the protest? Like a real protest.
Yeah.
Like just trucks everywhere.
Well, are we just going to keep bending over or what? You know, is what
I'm saying.
Sorry to put it that way, but geez, that's people aren't, they're afraid. It's fear. Apparently, but they've been hitting. It's also poisoning. Frequency. What you eat, right. what you drink, what you think, what you breathe.
Yeah.
All of it comes into play, and they've been doing it extra heavy on the Americans because they want to take America down.
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi is one with the contractors, the commercial contractors, all that stuff. She's got her hands in that dirty, and her husband had that in his hands dirty as hell. So that's all going to come out too. So it's not good. This is where you go. I went off this planet.
Okay, somebody's
on an
asking.
Island.
Is it? Okay.
Okay.
All right. You have your bell by any chance?
Yeah, I do. Are you ready for the time to go? Okay. So
we're getting close. I guess we could go a few more minutes. If I can find my bell.
I got one, so we can go ahead and start.
Okay, yeah, mine must be over on my other desk if you want to. You can, all right. And that's for the children. Remember, all this started because it's all for the children. And we're going to get yourself psychologically prepared for when we actually do have disclosure. Many of us know already a lot, but there's going to be.
See, and that's the thing. Everybody wants this stuff going. I'm just like, turn the lights out, turn the lights out, turn the lights out, turn the lights out. That's all you got to do.
Yep.
Just turn the lights out.
Alrighty then. Anything else you want to say before we go?
Well, the only thing I can say is keep an eye on XRP and watch the debt clock. XRP, watch the debt clock, and Elon Musk. Those are the three you want to pay attention to.
Alrighty then. So stay in the light, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being here. And see you again soon.
Good night, guys.
a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our